In this video, we're going to be covering how contractors can turn their slow season into their most profitable season yet using this winter revenue generator. Now, for most contractors, the problem is they call the winter the slow season, right? And they think of it that way. All your crews sit idle, you kind of take a kickback, your cash flow dries up, maybe you take a break, take your vacations during that time. But homeowners during that time, they still have problems, okay? They just don't see the urgency in calling your business, right? So here's how you got to think about it. It's only going to be slow during this time if you let it be. It's all a mindset thing. So let me tell you a story about Coca-Cola, and I'll kind of show you how it relates in a second, because you're going to be like, Coca-Cola has this, what does this have to do with contracting, right? Here's how it works, because it's all brand and storytelling. So Coca-Cola back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, I don't remember when, but back in the day, they were known as a summer drink. So what they did was during the winter, their sales would just tank, right? Because they didn't have any advertising or marketing or branding going on about wintertime. So their marketing people decided, what can we do to attack and own the winter season? So they come up with their Winter Santa. They essentially created Santa, not Santa like in general, obviously we've had that, but they took Santa, put a red suit on him with the same Coca-Cola colors, and they started having Santa drinking a Coke. So automatically you have brand relation to Coke being drank in the winter. And they even, of course, as the campaign's going on, so most of you, probably my age, remember the polar bears drinking Coke, and I'm pretty sure they have those ads still running, because so what they did was they owned the slow season, okay, and they didn't hide from it, and they wanted to make sure that people could relate the Coke product to the wintertime as well, not just summer. And when they did that, sales obviously skyrocketed, and they started owning the seasons year round. And of course, we know Coke being one of the probably top 5 brands in the world, that everybody knows who they are and what they do. And because brand is the primary thing when it comes to that product, and they do a damn good job of branding it out. So that's how they did it. Now, you as a contractor, you can do the same thing if you want to, okay, if you're tired of slow season. So in this video, we're going to cover a 4-step framework, okay, where you can essentially find your winter Santa. We're going to find your winter Santa. What's going to be the thing, the product, the one-liner that's going to get you people to recognize and use your service during the wintertime. Second, we're going to help you own that association, get it out to the right people. Then we'll go over on how to flip the script so you can start changing your mindset and start getting it out to the right people and getting people to come to your business during the slow season. And then create your entire winter story so you can keep busy all year long. So let's jump right into the video. So step number 1 is finding your winter Santa. So the formula you want to think about is, and most people we're talking to are contractors helping homeowners, not necessarily commercial, but if you're a commercial company, you can figure it out. So the formula you want to think about is winter is when smart homeowners do this end result, right? So what we want to do is we want to figure out, like, what do people worry about in the winter? What are their problems in the winter related to your industry or close enough to where a service you could offer? Okay, look in for local Facebook groups, next door posts, ask your neighbors, just listen around. Like, you can find what people are worried about in the wintertime. And then write down at least, in between 1 and 3 jobs that can be done or service that can be offered for those people during the wintertime. Now, some examples are like, stopping leaks before $5,000 spring damage happens. HVAC, obviously this is a common one. Furnace check before a cold snap could get rid of a $15 emergency. Fencing, fix shifting posts before storms knock them down. Windows, stop drafts, cut bills by 20%. Landscaping, fix drainage before spring mud flooding happens, right? So I'm going to go through some of these examples here and kind of give you some context around how the messaging would look, right, to go out on social media or Google Business Profile. We'll get to that in a minute. So first with roofing, okay, you want to look at it like this. So winter is when smart homeowners fix roof damage before spring rains turn a $200 repair into a $5,000 leak, right? Or another way to position this would be cold months expose weak spots. Get them fixed before storms collapse your peace of mind or collapse your roof, or before storms turn a $200 repair into the $5,000 leak, right? That's a way to kind of position it. Now for HVAC, winter is when smart homeowners get furnace tune-ups because a breakdown and a cold snap means no heat for your family and a $1,500 emergency call, right? And just getting somebody to do a tune-up is like $100 maybe, depending on your area. So $100 is a lot better than $1,500 when you least expect it. Especially when homeowners typically sometimes nowadays don't even have $1,500 in savings, which is scary. Another way to position would be heating failures, don't wait. Check it now before your system quits on the coldest night of the year. So now with fencing, okay, a way to position this would be winter is when smart homeowners repair shifting post before storms knock the fence down and leave your yard completely exposed. Or, frozen grounds will shift your post or break your whatever, right? Fix it now before spring repair doubles in cost. Or fix it now because most fence contractors, unless they're slow, aren't going to come out and do a fence repair. They're going to be knocking out new fence jobs. So another way would be just simply urgency of the fact that we're going to be so busy in the spring, we might not be able to get to your fence repair. So keep that in mind. Next is windows. So let's go deeper into this. So a window messaging would be like something like this, or you can actually do windows and doors with this. Winter is when smart homeowners stop drafts because every drafty window or drafty door can add 20% to your heating bill, right? So get it fixed now, save. For some people, heating bills can go $300 a month. Imagine knocking it down to like $250 or $270. That's a lot of money saved, okay? Or saying something like, another messaging thing would be like, a small gap in your window or door equals sky-high bills and freezing nights all season long. So once again, two ways to position it to get yourself out in front of people who need those things fixed, right? And last example here, we'll kind of go deeper into is landscaping. So winter is when smart homeowners fix drainage issues before muddy yards and floods kill their spring landscaping. Or another way, and this could actually be tree service too, clear dead trees now before ice storms drop limbs on your home or power lines. Because the way you want people to think about this is like, if you have flooding in the spring and you spend all this money on landscaping and it completely floods your yard because it doesn't drain properly, that's a big deal, right? Because you're gonna, if you're doing expensive landscaping, that could be $5,000. So fix your drainage now instead of having to pay for landscaping, pay $5,000, then fix your drainage, and then have to pay to have it done again, right? It just triples the cost. So don't triple your cost, right? Think about that as helping homeowners there and getting them to come out to do landscaping and fixing their drainage issue in the wintertime. And of course, as a catch-all for most contracting companies or industries, is in the spring and summer months typically are your busiest. So really you can just do an urgency thing where it's like, hey, guess what? Get your stuff fixed now. Smart homeowners will prep their homes now or do this project now before spring demand skyrockets and you're stuck in a 3-month waiting list, right? Or smart homeowners don't hibernate. They lock in winter projects now and beat the spring rust, right? So just in general, right, you can use that as a way to position and push out, depending on whatever industry you're in. All right, so we got your winter one-liner. That's a simple sentence that's going to tie your trade directly back to where homeowners are worried about during the slow season. But here's the thing. If it just sits in your notebook or just sits on a Google Doc, it's absolutely useless. So step 2 is about getting it in front of homeowners everywhere they're looking without messing up your core branding. So here are the 3 places you can put your winter one-liner right in front of the homeowners so you can start owning the slow season, right? So first thing is your Google business profile post. Google loves fresh content. They love new stuff coming out all the time. Lets them know that you're in business, that you're relevant. So we want to post that winter line in a before and after photo as a project update or a new seasonal offer going out. And you're going to start popping up when people are searching for things like winter roof leak or drafty windows. It's simple, super easy, and it works, right? Second thing is going to be a blog post or seasonal landing page. So you want to have this created, whether you have a marketing company do it or, I don't know, whoever does it, right? If you do it yourself, you shouldn't. But if you do, you want to have it centered around that one-liner. So that's going to give kind of gives a home base for if you want to run paid advertising to it, or you're driving emails to your current client customers back to that site, or any social media traffic. And that way you don't have to touch your main website and screw up the core branding we talked about. It's just a seasonal spotlight page. That way you can use it year in, year out. You're driving people to that page to get that specific offer out to the market. All right, third thing is pinned social posts. So At the top of your Facebook page or Instagram page, that's where you want to have a post that demonstrates this one-liner, whether it's a video or just a simple post in general. Now, most homeowners aren't going to scroll through your social media feed. Rarely do they do. But if they go to your page because they see a paid ad, or maybe they saw your post show up in a Facebook group or you're recommended, then they're going to see that pinned post right away when they go to your page. So it basically demonstrates like, hey, we own the winter. We're ready to solve your problem now. So quick examples is like having some type of post at the top of your page, like as a fence company, it says winter installs, spring ready, privacy before the rush. Or an HVAC company that says smart homeowners service furnaces before cold snaps, right? And then windows, stop winter drafts, lower your bills this month today. So each one's simple, it's seasonal, and it's instantly relevant to your homeowners. So now your winter one-liner, your winter Santa is out there. Homeowners see it on their on your Google Business profile, they see it on social media, they see it on your landing page. But here's the next problem that typically happens. If all you do is talk about winter, people will nod their head and still say, yeah, no, I'll just wait until spring to take care of this. So that's why step 3 is about flipping the script and getting people to act, right? We don't just position winter, we make it the smarter choice with the right offers to get them to act right now. So here's the rule in flipping the script. Every slow season offer should do one of 3 things. First, it should give homeowners an advantage by acting now. 2, remove the risk of starting in winter. Or 3, add a small perk that makes them feel smart for booking early. So examples by trades here. Let's look at just in general, right? So roofing, book now, first pick of installations when spring comes around. Now, this is relevant for companies like in the up north where it stays really cold all winter long. Obviously, like down in Alabama, for the most part, we have a few winter weeks, so to speak, but for the most part, you can work year-round. Or like if you're in Florida, right, most of those companies is pretty much year-round. But for the ones that aren't, right, you get the first pick if you book now. Landscaping, winter drainage equals no spring mud or no damaging. So saying like drainage projects done in winter equals no mud in the spring. So it's a pain solved before it even shows up. HVAC, done by March 15th or $200 credit towards summer service. So a guaranteed completion or money back. Windows, draft-free guarantee. So saying like draft-free guarantee or we fix it free, right? Risk reversal puts confidence in the work that you actually do. And then like something like remodeling, we can say like winter projects done before the summer rush. So like you want to use the downtime that people typically have as an advantage to act now. So I want to give you an example of an actual roofing ad and a full messaging that could go with this. This could be on social media. This could be done through Google ad or whatever. Really social media is a disruption. So if you look at it, this one here for roofing, most homeowners wait until spring to fix their roof and end up at the back of a 3-month wait list. Don't make that mistake. Winter is when smart homeowners book their roofing project. Lock in your spot now and get first priority before spring storms hit. Now, another way to add to this, right, you can dig a little bit deeper and change this sentence here. Don't make the mistake and say like, don't make the mistake that this homeowner made when they decided not to get their roof repaired. You can say, don't make this $5,000 mistake or $10,000 mistake this other homeowner did by not getting their roof, fixed now, because it damaged during the winter and actually caused all this other damage besides that, right? So you can see down the rabbit hole it happened because not doing it, and you have social proof to prove it and how you solve the problem later. So you can add that in and go deeper into your ad here to get them to act now. Okay. Next, HVAC example. So a furnace breakdown in the middle of a cold snap. That's the question. That's your hook. Okay. That's a $1,500 emergency bill no homeowner wants. Winter is when smart homeowners get a tune-up, and we guarantee if your system isn't running perfectly by March 15th, we'll credit you towards the summer service. So call today, peace of mind before the next freeze. Great way, like, hey, we'll come out, we'll check it, we'll make sure everything's operational, or we'll cover it if it's not. Okay, we'll document it and cover it. Great risk reversal, what great way to get in front of people easier. And then here's a fencing one here. Want privacy before backyard season kicks in? Most people wait until spring and get stuck waiting. Smart homeowners book their fence install in the winter. We build now so your yard is ready for family cookouts and peace of mind in the spring, right? So you're not having to delay that or having a project going on right in the middle of a summer birthday or something. So keep that in mind there. This is great for like pools as well. I know a lot of pool builders that build in the winter, right, to be ready for the summer. Because that's when you're going to swim, right? So they build the pools in the winter. So each one of those ads starts with a pain point, flips into an advantage of acting now, and then ends with a simple call to action. Okay, now we've got your strong winter offer, but here's the next problem. Offers by themselves sound like marketing. Homeowners trust stories way more than they're going to trust slogans. So this is why step 4 about creating your winter story is so crucial. It makes your message believable and, of course, repeatable. So here's the formula. 1, we talk about their problem, right? That's what we've got into. Next, we help shift their mindset so they think that, oh, I need to start acting now. We show proof of why they should shift their mindset and act now. We give them the payoff of what happens when they do act now. And then what's the next step for them to actually act now and get it done? So let's start with roofing as an example. So most wait until spring, end up on a wait list. We finished this roof in January and it was ready before the storm. So the problem is most homeowners wait until spring and get stuck on a 3-month wait list, right? So here's your problem right here. Then the shift is smart homeowners book their roof in winter, right? So they take care of it in wintertime. And then the proof is, here's a roof we just finished in January, okay? And then you can do the same by booking today, all right? And they beat the storms out. That was the payoff, right? They got the peace of mind. Next example would be fencing. So winter storms knock posts down. We fixed this one in February. Family had privacy and security. So once again, the problem is winter storms can knock leaning posts flat. The shift for them is smart homeowners fix them now. The proof is, here's a fence we rebuilt in February. This yard was secure again before the holiday gatherings happened. The payoff for them, the homeowner, is the family enjoyed privacy and avoided a full replacement. And the next step is schedule your winter fence check now. Now for HVAC, most wait for breakdowns. This furnace serviced in December, no emergencies at all. So that's the framework of the story. So you're thinking it like this. Problem is, most homeowners only call when the furnace dies in a cold snap. The shift is smart homeowners schedule winter tune-ups. The proof is we just serviced this system in December and they had no breakdowns all season long. The payoff is the family avoided a $1,500 emergency call. Next step for you is to book your tune-up today. All right, so for windows or doors, all right, so drafts equal high bills, replaced in January, 18% bill drop. So that's the framework idea. So the problem is, drafty windows, drafty doors, drive up energy bills all week long. That's the issue. Smart homeowners, the shift, replace or seal them before peak season. Proof, this home replaced 2 drafty windows or 2 drafty doors in January, and their bill dropped 18% the next month. So the payoff is lower bills, more comfort. Next step, stop winter drafts today. And finally, a remodeling example. So booked in winter, finished before summer entertaining. So the problem is homeowners who wait for spring can't get crews until like midsummer, right? So the shift is smart homeowners start remodels in the winter. Proof, here's a kitchen we finished in February, ready for summer entertaining. So the payoff is they beat the rush and got more flexible scheduling. And the next step for you is to plan a remodel now. So get started with your consultation, right? So once again, all of these go through the problem, the shift, what's the proof in it for them, what's the payoff for them, and what's the next step for them to easily get started. Now, where do we actually post this, or how do we deploy this information, deploy the story everywhere? So you want to look at this. So one, you could use a reel, like a video content, right? 30-second job walkthrough plus captions. You know, you want to add text overlay with things like priority, guarantee, ready for spring. So an example one-liner would be like, hey, here's a roof we finished in January, done before the spring storms, right? Just an example, just in general, right? Second thing would be Google Business Profile post. Now, you want to use before or after post with a 2 to 3 sentence story about what happened. You can use the same framework we just talked about before. So an example would be like, this family booked their new windows in January. Now they're draft free, saving on bills, and ready for the spring. Now the third thing would be a text message or email campaign. Now I don't text campaigns, just to be careful. If they don't opt into marketing or advertising and you can't clearly explain that with HTTP registration, then text campaign is not the way to go because it could really ruin your phone number. But email typically is a lot better. So You want to do a quick win story and have them do something simple like reply winter for details. So an example, this would be like, hey, winter is when smart homeowners prep. We just finished the January roof to beat the spring rush. Once yours done before the storms, reply winter and we'll send out the checklist, right? Or we'll get you booked. So here's my challenge to you for next steps. Go download the free revenue generator so you can add another 50 to 100K in jobs during a slow season or more, right? It could be a lot more than that. It'd be awesome. But 50 to 100K that you didn't have before is also awesome. And go out and actually implement the checklist. That's what you got to do next. That's my challenge to you. Now, this is just one part, obviously, of keeping your winter busy. You've got to make sure that the rest of your business is on point, your digital presence is maximized and optimized to its best abilities, your brand is represented professionally in the way you want it. And so check out on the screen here, we'll have a video that walks you through how to actually do that. So you can make sure that while you're implementing this winter revenue generator, you're still representing your brand in the right way and getting more customers to act now because they trust your brand online.